Time to bring you the funny. We have Lauren.
On a Monday.
On a Monday.
That's right. We love that. It's a great way to start off the week. Thank you for joining us here
thank you
this
so much for
morning.
having
We,
us.
of course, are here to talk about the comedy Experiment.
Yes.
So for those who have not familiar, kind of just explain about what this troupe is and how long you guys have been around, because we were just talking about the history a little bit.
Yes, so Comedy Experiment is the oldest running improv troupe in Des Moines. So we have actually been running for 17 years.
17 years?
17 years.
Oh my goodness.
Yes,
now,
I know.
Do we have any original members that are still part of the cast?
Believe it or not, they do still exist. We have not retired them yet. No, I'm kidding.
They haven't run away yet?
No, they haven't.
Yeah.
They're still there. They're still
You
supporting
never
the troupe.
age out of the funny, right?
No, you never. It's comedy's kind of like a fine wine. We just get funnier as we age. You can bring in like the legit dad jokes, and you can bring in the grandpa jokes. I mean, it will just keep going.
Well, it's kind of like the Eagles say, you can check in, but you can never leave. Right?
No, really, that's it. It's
Yeah.
basically like, some people take a sabbatical, as we'll say, they'll leave for like a little while. But you always
come back.
You always get that itch to be back on stage and in front of everybody.
You know, speaking of the itch to get on stage and perform comedy like this, you are one of the newer members.
I am.
Yeah.
I am the baby of the troupe. I've been with the troupe now 4 years.
And that's a baby?
That is the baby.
Wow.
I am the baby, yes.
What made you want to get involved in something like this? Because doing improv is not the easiest thing in the world.
No, it's because there's no rehearsal really as far as like memorizing lines. Like we practice the games in rehearsal, so you kind of have an idea like, oh, we're going to do this type of a game, we're gonna ask the audience for these suggestions, but otherwise you're just out there. So for me, it was just, let's just do it. Let's challenge. I've always loved theater.
Right.
Always been involved with the community theater scene here in Des Moines. So for me, it was like, let's do this next challenge. And I'd watch Comedy Experiment because my now husband actually is a member. He's been with improv for years and years and years. So I was just watching them and saying, I think I can do that. I think I can. I believe in myself, and just going to rehearsals and just doing it.
And let's talk about that rehearsal now, because you say you don't have any lines.
We
You
don't.
Nothing is set up.
No.
What in the world?
What are you rehearsing?
What
Because what you've just rehearsed
What are you
is
doing
probably
then?
not what's going to happen.
That is actually one of our top questions we get asked. It's like, what do you do? So, like I said, we do practice we call them games. So they're kind of like skits or sketches that we'll do during the show. So we'll practice those, and we'll basically try to torment each other with suggestions, trying to really.
For example, if we were going to play a game here, okay,
Yes.
what would be some of the steps of a game that you would play during a rehearsal?
So one of the steps would be figuring out, well, what's going to be our gimmick? What are we going to be trying to play as far as, is it going to be a complete, like a long form scene where we're going to be improvising like a whole set of scenes, or is it going to be something fast paced? And that's what during our shows, you'll notice we kind of have a variety of those longer scenes where we can kind of let it breathe and just see what happens, or some of those short fast paced ones where we're like bam, 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 bam. And then we're always, like I said, we're kind of asking each other for suggestions, because that's one of the things our audience members love to do is like, what type of a suggestion can we throw at them and see what they can do with
And
it.
are they usually trying to throw you a curveball?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I would imagine if I was in the audience, I'd be throwing a curveball.
Because you got to think fast, and you're trying to be funny, and do you ever get stuck?
You know what? Sometimes we do, and that's kind of the best thing is when we have an audience that's really living with us in that moment, they'll be offering up tons of suggestions, and so we'll hear a couple of them, and sometimes we'll hear just a one that's a one-off. We're like, oh yeah, and we'll just react with the audience because they also heard it. So that's kind of the fun thing is there's no fourth wall in improv. We're right there with you. It's live and it's so dynamic, and that's the cool thing.
So
about
what
it.
sets you up to be able to do this? You said you loved theater, which is being on stage theater-wise?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, so I love doing scripted theater, went to school for theater, and then like I said, kind of improv's kind of that next level challenge, because again, you do have those, you're kind of, you know what's going to happen, like you know kind of the chunked out what's going to happen, but again, because all of our suggestions are from that audience that night, we can be doing the same game in multiple shows across our season, but they'll be totally different because it's based on what they're giving us that
So what
night.
type of things do you ask for? When you say, hey, we need some suggestions for things, what are some of the things you're looking for just for an example?
Yeah, so for an example, one of our top ones is pick a location that can fit on our stage, like an elevator or a bathroom or something like that.
Okay.
Or we ask for your favorite color, or what was your least favorite thing you ever got for Christmas? Or often we ask people, the first thing is, what do you do for a living? And it's so funny how many people don't say anything at that part.
Really?
We're like, does anybody work? Anyone? Anyone? Nope. Okay. Nope. Nobody. All right. That's fine.
And just take those different elements and then you just run with it.
We do. We just run with it. Yep. So some sketches involve just one suggestion. Some involve multiple layers to challenge us just to see how far we can push it. Because it's fun for both us and the audience then, because they're like, how are they going to do this? Is this going to be real? Are they going to make it? And that's just the fun thing.
Talk about the dynamic of the troupe itself and how, because you guys you kind of all have to play off each other and compliment each other. Or if somebody gets stuck, somebody's got to kind of swoop in and have your back, and how all that works.
Yeah. So that's one of the great things about everyone being in the same troupe for so long is you have to kind of feel, it's kind of this weird feely thing. You feel what that person's going to do. Because you kind of see these characters start to evolve, or this personality. Like for me, I'm obviously very high energy, so I'm normally the person that's like, I'm gonna go on stage first and I'm gonna go right out there. But we have some people that are really, really good at developing these intricate characters. So by playing with them in rehearsal a lot, or just being friends and just hanging out in real life, you kind of learn their personality and learn their improv personality, if you will. So then you can kind of get that dynamic, and then you have that give and take. Because you don't want a scene to be just one big monologue in improv. It's funnier when it's about the relationship and it's about two people just being together in a desert island, stranded with a toothbrush, and that's all you have. So
let's see what they're going to do.
How many people are in the troupe?
So right now we are a 7-strong troupe, plus we do have a pianist as well. So, which is super fun. So she's going to be at our Saturday show. So we'll do some musical improv, which is super fun.
Yeah, so let's get to the shows. What's of it? This is kind of a pre-Valentine's Day festivities. So tell us what we have to look forward to here.
So we're going to be at the Stoner Studio Theater. So it's going to be this upcoming Friday and Saturday, the 7th and 8th at 7:30 p.m.
Okay.
So everything is going to be love themed, because as our
of course,
very
right?
Nice.
Of course, right? Because as our market researchers have found, people love love, So we're like, let's encourage love, but let's do it before Valentine's Day, because there's so much pressure associated with the weekend of Valentine's Day. We're
and
like,
so many things going on too. This way, get it out of the way.
Exactly.
Yeah.
There's no risk of forgetting because you already did it. You've already experienced Valentine's Day.
excuse.
So what do you think of the Stoner Theater? You're going over to the Stoner Theater, which is right downtown, obviously. If you haven't been there, explain what kind of space that is.
So it's an intimate black box theater. So it's actually underneath the Civic Center stage. So it's actually not that much bigger than the studio itself, which is awesome. Yeah, so their audience sits on 3 sides. So we're basically surrounded by audience members. And it's first come, first served seating. So we have people that tend to drift towards the back, and we're like, no, we will come and find you. So if you want to be super interactive, we have people sitting literally on the stage right in the front row.
Really?
But yeah, anywhere is fine, because that's the great thing about it being so small, is every seat is a great view.
How about that?
Oh, we're excited. I love your energy. So again, 2 shows this Friday and Saturday, 7:30, Stoner Theater. All about love.
All about love.
Go to comedyexperiment.com to get your tickets, or DesMoinesPerformingArts.org for information. So bring in the funny.
Yes, we're ready.
ComedyXP.com, right?
ComedyXP.com, or finding us on Facebook's another great place to find us as well.
There it is. Oh, you guys are going to have a lot of fun. You can just tell already. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's going to be good. It's going to be good.
Well, thank you so much for coming in.
No 2 shows are alike.
No, literally no 2 shows.
Great.
It's a one-of-a-kind show on Friday and another one-of-a-kind show on Saturday. We love that.
All right.